paper good?
Yes. You know I love that free paper.
Yeah.
Because the other day you saw me ripping it out of this one. I was like,
I mean, this almost gone.
what?
That one, that tablet.
Yeah, I'm running through it now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're coming on, I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly, Dolly, everybody, and let them know Prophet Ramone, the squad, and the Ramonepreston show. We are live in the house right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you are enjoying all the information that we've been sharing since we've launched the Ramonepreston show. Hit that like button, hit that share button, please. Tag Lolly Dolly everybody. Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, if you with Elon Musk on Mars, tag somebody and let them know the Ramonepreston show is live. Again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to share what we're going to be discussing today. I know it's going to change and transform your outlook on business, on real estate more specifically, and it may even change your perspective on what you want to do as you continue to move into this 2021 year. A lot of people are thinking about investing. A lot of people want to take some of that stimulus money and some of that extra income tax refund and some of the extra savings that they have, and a lot of people want to invest it. Recently, we've had a lot of people responding to us, asking us questions with regard to where should I invest some of my extra money? Where should I put some of my extra stimulus money, some of my extra income tax refund, or maybe some free cash flow that you have? A lot of people are asking those questions. That's why this week I'm kind of dedicating all of our shows around the real estate industry. The last 2 days we have kind of tapped into the real estate industry with some of the things that we talked about. Monday, we talked about what did we talk about? The 3 entrepreneurial styles of growth. Okay, and if you're going to get into real estate investing, if you're going to get into any type of investing, you have to be able to grow as an entrepreneur, especially when you're thinking about investing in areas like real estate. And here's what I like to say: when you want to be an investor, when you know at some point in your life, personally or in your life professionally, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that you want to invest, whatever the object of investing in is that you get into, that's very, very important. But the concept of investing is even more important. And that's why this week I've dedicated these shows to talk about holding companies, business, entrepreneurship, but the relationship that holding companies, businesses, and entrepreneurship has with real estate investing. So today we're going to be talking about the 8 most important terms and concepts. That's what we're talking about today. So again, hit that like button, hit that share button. Shout out to all of my Facebook tribe members. I thank you so much. Appreciate you. All of my YouTube tribe members, I thank you so much. I appreciate you for all of your support, for all of your feedback, for all of the questions, for all of the engagement, and just everything that you do to make the show what it has been since we've launched it a few months ago. Which, by the way, if you have a question while you're watching today's show, feel free to dial 678-922-1963 extension 1. If you dial 678-922-1963 extension 1, my phone right here on the live show is going to ring, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question about the 8 most important terms and concepts. Now, these are real estate terms and concepts, but I want to show you, like we talked about a little bit yesterday, the relationship between holding companies or businesses and real estate investing. Because when you can connect those two worlds and you understand that some of the principles that we use in business, in any business, are similar to the principles that we use in real estate, particularly in real estate investing, all of a sudden you become broader in your outlook. You become broader in your perspective. You're able to see the landscape of entrepreneurship, the landscape of business, the landscape of real estate investing differently. See, I'm a 18-year entrepreneur full time, but the gateway into entrepreneurship, the gateway into business ownership for me was and still is real estate. Okay, my wife is a real estate professional. I typically did and dealt with the real estate investing side of it, which means when we worked with investors, when we worked with different individuals who wanted to tap into home ownership, I would always add the investment component to that conversation or to those deals so that it could be even more of a win-win for people, whether they were just purchasing homes, selling homes, flipping homes, they just wanted to find some rental properties, whatever the case is, large or small. That's always been my sweet spot. But it was the real estate industry. It was the real estate arena. It was the business of real estate that really opened me up to the world of entrepreneurship and to the world of owning businesses, because real estate is one of those areas where you got so many industries connected to any one deal. Think about it. Even if you just purchase a home, you have to have lenders connected to that deal. You have to have your banks connected to that deal. You have to have your employer or your business connected to that deal. You have to have appraisers. You have to have home inspectors. You have to have lawyers. It's so many people that are just tied into one real estate deal. But all of these people that are tied to this one real estate deal are professionals who represent other industries. So real estate was that gateway for me. It was that path to really understand how all these other industries work cohesively or should work cohesively. So when I'm dealing with people who are just in business in a certain area, I see that business a different way because I have certain terms and concepts that I use. I have certain principles that I use that I developed learning about real estate and real estate investing. Now these terms and these concepts and these principles are universal for me. So it doesn't matter if it's an apparel business, if it's a landscaping business. I mean, we sit here and we coach people and we talk to clients all the time from every industry, nonprofit and for-profit sectors. And guess what? We utilize the same universal principles to help get them to where they want to be. So if you got a question today, I want you to hit that number, 678-922-1963, and holler at your boy if you have a question, because I want to answer whatever the question is that you have, especially if you have dreams, if you have desires, if you have aspirations and ambitions to be in real estate investing. So again, today we're going to talk about the 8 most important terms and concepts. Now again, these are real estate investing terms and concepts. So if you're interested in real estate investing, these terms and concepts are going to be the most important terms and concepts that you learn, that you familiarize yourself with, so that you can actually know how to do a deal. Now, all of this information that you hear me talking about is in our blueprint game plan. I know I have my coaching picture behind me for our coaching program that we're like head we're neck deep into this coaching program this week because we just launched our 1-year coaching program. But my point in bringing that up is all of these terms and concepts that I'm sharing with you, all this information that I'm sharing with you is a part of my personal playbook, which is our blueprint game plan. So if you're interested in learning more about real estate investing, if you're interested in learning more about holding companies, if you're interested in learning more about entrepreneurship or any industry of business ownership or financial literacy or all of the above, I want you to reach out to us today, and I'll talk more about that at the end, because we have an amazing 5-step wealth building system that we use to provide online virtual education and training through our program, which is my personal playbook. We have an awesome 1-year business coaching program that is underway now. We're actually conducting our first one-on-one coaching sessions with the first phase of people who have already signed up. We started Monday, and we're going to continue to do it all week and all month for those of you that are coming in to be a part of our 1-year coaching program. So there's a lot of opportunities in the market for you in 2021. There are a lot of business opportunities. There are a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities. There are a lot of investing opportunities. But you have to at least understand the universal principles or the basic terms and concepts that govern this whole world of investing. So even though I'm focusing on the object of real estate, we still want to understand the concept of investing. Because see, when you learn the basic terms and concepts of investing, even when you connect those terms and concepts of investing to different objects or businesses or industries or areas of entrepreneurship, you're going to see that they actually work the same, even if the wording or the language is a little different. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Here are the 8 most important terms and concepts. I'm going to give you all 8 of them, okay? And then when I give you all 8, we'll kind of go back and we'll flesh through each of the 8. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to dial 678-922-1963 extension 1. The 8 most important terms and concepts for real estate, number 1, but they're also universally applied to businesses, generally speaking. The first term and concept is the abbreviated version of a CMA. I'm giving you like the abbreviated versions, and then we'll go back, okay? So the first term and concept that's going to be most important for you to understand when it comes to investing is the CMA. CMA. The second most important term and concept for investing is the GR. It's the GR, the GR. So I'm giving y'all like the bougie versions, but we're going to go back and we're going to understand it. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write down the 8 most important terms and concepts. Number 1 is what? The CMA. Number 2 is the GR. Number 3 is the OE. Now, if you're in real estate investing, you already know what these terms and concepts are, even the abbreviated versions. Number 3 is the OE. Number 4 is the NOI. The NOI. Number 4 is the NOI. Number 5 is the DS. The DS. Number 6 is the DSCR. I know some people are like, what is he talking about? This is so weird. The DSCR. This is why you got to learn the game. This is why you got to inform yourself. Number 7 is the CF. That's facts, ain't it? The CF, number 7. And number 8, this is going to be a familiar one for everybody, the ROI. Almost everybody know about ROI. So those are the 8 most important terms and concepts for investing, more specifically for real estate. But I want you to see how these terms and concepts can actually be universal principles in any type of business. So that's why I always say to people, you got to know the math behind certain things. You gotta know some of the analytics, some of the mathematics, some of the metrics behind what you're doing, because once you figure out the basic math, the fundamental metrics and analytics behind these terms and concepts, these universal principles, it doesn't matter if it's a hat business, or if it's a shoe business, or if it's a coffee business, or if it's a restaurant business. You're going to apply the same terms and concepts because you have created a universal basis for how you analytically or mathematically evaluate or assess any type of business, including your own. So the first of the 8 terms and concepts that I gave you that are the most important is the what? The CMA. Now in real estate, the CMA is considered to be the comparative market analysis. It is the comparative market analysis. So let me give you an example what a CMA is. When a real estate agent is preparing to sell a property, all right, and put that property on the market, that real estate agent is going to do an analysis, okay? And that analysis is going to be an analysis that helps to determine what the market price is for that property based on the comparative values of other homes or properties that are like kind that have been sold within a certain period of time, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It doesn't go past 3 or 4 months. So let's just say 90 days. So if I want my piece of property sold, right? And I want to put my piece of property on the market, I'm not going to determine what the price is. The CMA is going to determine what the price is, because the CMA is going to provide me a comparative market analysis. So a professional agent is going to look at the market and help to determine what the comparative value of this property is based on other properties that have sold in at least a 90-day window. Now, why is that important? Because even if you're valuating or analyzing or assessing a piece of property that you want to invest in, or if you're analyzing, evaluating, or assessing a business that you want to buy and or a business that you want to get into, it's good to begin by doing your own CMA, your own comparative market analysis. This is one of the things that I teach in our real estate investing course, that you don't necessarily even need a professional to do your own CMA. All you basically need to do is pull up from the general MLS system in your area to see what are the recent homes that have sold. So that means if you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, 1,300 square feet, all you need to figure out and find out is how many homes that are 3 bedrooms, 2 bath within a half a mile or mile radius close to the area you want to purchase a property in, how much have they sold for within the last 90 days? And then you're going to find out how much are they renting for. See, you're going to have to do these numbers for yourself. If it's a business, this is how you can transfer this universal principle from the term and concept, because you may not have the same details in your CMA for a business like you will for a piece of real estate, but you can still do a form of a CMA for your business. So it's like, if I want to start a certain business, I want to start a clothing line, right? Well, I need to start by doing a CMA. I need to start analyzing the market of the clothing business. I want to start selling makeup. I want to start selling shoes. I want to start providing a certain service to the market. I need to do my own CMA. I need to do a comparative market analysis for that type of business in that type of industry. So do you see how, even though this is a term and concept that is regularly used in real estate investing and just real estate period, how this same term and concept can be applied to a business It can actually be applied to any type of business, because you should always start whatever you're starting, whether it's a business or whether you're starting an investment opportunity or some entrepreneurial endeavor, you should start it with some form of a CMA. So whether you have a professional working for you to do it, because when you're in real estate, an agent is going to do that for you. All right. But when you're in business and it is a small business and you don't necessarily have the working capital to pay a business broker to help you sell your business, or a business broker to help you buy your business, you have to at least do your due diligence, beginning with this first term and concept. Oh my God. If y'all knew how valuable what I just shared with you is, if you only knew how valuable that was. Most people never even begin this process. Like, there's nobody I know that can be successful in real estate investing that doesn't go through these 8 terms and concepts. You're going to fail. If you're in real estate investing, even if, I'm bold enough to say this, even if you got you a little rental property, because everybody think they investors because they had a house, they moved out of it, they bought them another house, them and their family upgraded, and then they kept that house and rented it out, or grandma left the house, and they think they real estate investors. You ain't no doggone real estate investor if you don't know these terms and concepts. You're probably losing if you don't know these terms and concepts. At some point or juncture in your renting that property, you're probably losing, because you probably don't look at that piece of property or that business or that equipment or that vehicle as a business. Because if you looked at it as a business, you're going to do the same evaluation, the same assessment, the same analysis that anybody would do when it comes to investing in anything, whether it's a piece of property, a business, a truck, a piece of equipment, or whatever it is. So that's the first term and concept that's out of the 8 most important. The second term and concept is the GR. Now, in real estate, the GR is called the gross rent. It is the gross rent. All right? Because remember, if I want to buy a piece of property and I want to rent this property out, well, first of all, I need to do a CMA to make sure that I'm buying a property that the comparative value is equal across the board. I don't want to be paying $200,000 for a house that the market value in that area based on other houses that sold is really worth $120,000, because I'm going into it negative $80,000 because I just didn't do a CMA. But if I'm going to be an investor and I'm looking for a ROI, or return on my investment, and I'm looking for this to be some form of passive income for me that I don't have to work my behind off to make a few extra dollars and definitely not lose, I have to not only understand the market value of this property or of this investment, but I also need to know what the ideal gross rent is. Even if you're not renting it, you still want to know what the gross rent is. So now the gross rent is what's connected to a piece of real estate. But when you look at it from a business, this second term is not gross rent, it's actually gross revenue. So what is the gross revenue of that kind of business? What is the average amount of money that kind of business makes? Like, think about this, daughter, you know, somebody can start a business, right? Let's say that they don't do a CMA. That means they start a business in a market that's not even needed. Think about that. You starting a business in an area that the area doesn't even need that kind of business. But you just feel like God done told you to do it. Yeah, but nobody needs what God told you to do. He may have not told you to do it there. It may work better 20 miles away. Right. But because you did not do a market analysis, you done spent all this money. I done seen people do this all the time, especially with brick and mortars like boutiques and storefronts. They do all this work. How many times have you seen like restaurants and bars and different boutiques? They open up, they do this grand opening, and in like 6 months you pass by there, they close. You know why? They never did a CMA. They never even did they never analyze that business to see, number one, does the market need it? And from a GR, gross rent or gross revenue perspective, is the revenue that comes into a business like this equivalent to me being in this kind of space? Because maybe the revenue doesn't match the space. So because this business does not generate enough revenue, or because it doesn't typically have this much money coming in, I don't need to be in this type of space. So instead of being in Buckhead, maybe you need that business in Bankhead. I'm just saying though, that business can thrive in Bankhead, but it will die in Buckhead. But you have to know that when you're doing the analytics, when you're doing the numbers. So you have to have some type of skeleton, some type of foundation that you can use as a universal principle to figure these things out. And real estate for me has been golden, because you see how easy I can talk about these terms and concepts, which are real estate investing terms and concepts. Real estate investors know these terms and concepts. Real estate agents who work with investors know these terms and concepts. But because I have been able to apply these terms and concepts into my life and business as principles, I can easily convert them over and apply it to any business that walks through my office door. It doesn't matter what type of business walks through my office door. I can go through the same mathematical, analytical process in my mind, because I already know they need to know these things. If you don't know them, you're going to lose. So the first most important term and concept is CMA. That's a comparative market analysis, right? The second is GR, which is gross rent, or in the form of a business, it would be gross revenue. I thought that was somebody calling me.
You're alone. Sorry.
No, it was a ringer.
Oh, okay.
Somebody was calling me.
Oh,
Scam likely. Why you calling me, dog? I'm live. Don't be calling me with no scam likely. I want somebody to call me with a question, not with a scam likely, whoever that is. So the second term and concept is GR, or gross rent. For a business, it would be gross revenue. The third term and concept is OE, which is short for operating expenses. So you're going to have your gross revenue at the top, and then below that, you're going to have your operating expenses. Now, especially in real estate, this is going to be very important, because if you really want to get into real estate investing, it's just as simple as this. Go find a property, do a CMA on that property, do a comparative market analysis. You want to find out what the property is worth, and if that type of property has the value based on the other comparative sales that have taken place with that kind of property. That's your CMA. So you're going to get that price, all right? So I find a property. That property is for sale for $129,000. The last 3 or 4 homes in that area within the last 3 months sold for about $129,000. So in my CMA, I have a number, $129,000 for the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this particular area. Now I want to look at the gross rent. I want to look at what are houses like this renting for in that area. If a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in that area is renting for $1,200, I want to get that number. I want to know, okay, if I buy a house for $129,000 in this area, I can rent this house out for $1,200 a month. Now I have cleared my CMA, right? I have cleared my gross rent. One of the easiest ways you can find out what the gross rent is for a property that you're looking at is calling a management company and ask them, what is the average price for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in your area? Oh, we rent those out for $1,200 a month. They're managing properties. They know exactly what they're renting properties for. And you can ask them, when you get to OE, operating expenses, you can ask them, how much would it cost for you to manage my property if I bought one in your area? So they'll tell you, oh, it'll cost you 10% of the rent. So $1,200 a month, that's going to be $120. But now you're going to calculate all your operating expenses. So how much does it take to operate this business of this rental property? This is how you can easily find a deal. It's like simple math. So the OE is operating expenses. After your operating expenses, the fourth term and concept is NOI. That's considered the net operating income. It's the net operating income. The net operating income is going to be important because in commercial real estate, the value of that property is going to be connected to the net operating income. It's not necessarily connected to the value of that property when it's a residential property, because the residential property is going to be based on the comparative market value of other properties that have sold. But in commercial, that NOI is everything. So you have to know what the NOI of that property will be, whether it's residential or commercial. And again, I think, especially if you want to know a true valuation of your business, we talked about valuating a business last week. If you want to know the true valuation of your business, you should go through this same mathematical process. You should know what the gross revenue of your business is, what the operating expenses of your business is, and you should know what the net operating income, that is the income that you get before you pay taxes, before you pay any debts off, before you take any salary. You want to know that NOI. Do we have a question? Oh, okay. All right, so that's the NOI. So in your ideal real estate investing scenario, you're going to do a CMA, right? Let's say if you just let's say in 2021, you want to purchase you a rental property so you can rent out and get in real estate investing. First thing you're going to do is what? Your CMA. You're going to find out what area you want to buy a house in and rent it out. What area looks like an area that you would like to rent a house in. Okay, you want to find out the price of that house and make sure the comparative value of that price is balanced and equal across the board. So in the event that you purchase that property, it will not be negative in equity. It will actually either be, balanced or may have some equity in it, even though you're not going to build your investment on the equity initially. That's not why you're going to purchase a property. You're purchasing a property for real estate investing because of the numbers. They make sense. The analytics that you've done, the metrics make sense, not the hypothetical possibilities of equity. So you're going to do your CMA. Then you're going to find out what is the gross rent of that kind of property. You want to make sure you know. If you don't have an agent, which you should have a real estate agent working with you, if you want to get into real estate investing, you got to have an agent. If you do anything in real estate, I just don't understand why somebody won't have an agent. It's just stupid. I'm just being honest with you. It's just dumb. For somebody to do, I want to do a FSBO. I'm going to do for sale by owner. I'm gonna flip my own properties by myself. You put yourself under so much stupid risk just because you don't want an agent to get a couple dollars of commission. I would rather have that agent get $2,000-$3,000 of commission or $4,000-$5,000 of commission. Number one, I keep a relationship with them, and I have a professional on my team that got relationships with lenders, bankers, lawyers, accountants, in home inspectors, contractors, developers. They have a whole list of people that they have relationships with, and you around here being stingy and being shady, and you're gonna find yourself in a mess because you didn't do it the right way. So you want to do your CMA, you want to know what your gross rent is for that property, and then you want to calculate your operating expenses. So if the house was $129, let's say hypothetically, in the example that I'm using, if the house that you want to buy is $129,000, right? Mm-hmm. $129, I'm gonna put $129K. That's for my CMA. So in this area that I want to buy a rental property, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, go for $129. All right? Then I want to find out, number 2, the gross rent. If the average gross rent is $1,200, I want to know that. So I know if I buy this $129,000 house, I can easily rent it for $1,200 a month. Now I want to calculate my operating expenses. What are the costs associated to renting a $129,000 house for $1,200 a month? The operating expenses, hypothetically, let's say if they're $600 a month or $700 a month, that because you're gonna have to have some type of hypothetical number on what that expense is gonna be. All right, so you got CMA, you got gross rent, Then you got operating expenses, let's say 700 in my example. Now, what would be your NOI? What is your NOI on this type of investment? Well, if $1,200 is the gross rent, right? And $700 is the operating expenses, you subtract 700 from 1,200, which means $500 would be your net operating income. You see how that works? This is the scenario you have to go through if you're going to get into real estate investing. And trust me, any kind of investing that you do, you want to be able to do this same mathematical calculation. If you can't do this type of calculation with an investment, you shouldn't be investing. You shouldn't be investing. I don't care what you're investing in. Real estate, your auntie, your mama, you're investing in clothes, you're investing in shoes, you're investing in other businesses, you're investing in Bitcoin, crypto, stocks or bonds. You should be able to go through this same mathematical, analytical scenario. So we have the CMA in my example for $129. The gross rent in my example, let's say $1,200. The operating expenses for this $1,200 rent is $700. The NOI would be $500. So now the fifth term and concept is DS. What is DS, Prophet Ramone? DS is debt service. Now you got to think about what the debt on that property is. How much debt are you paying? If you bought the house for $129,000 straight out, you have no debt service, right? But if you put a down payment and you have debt service, now you have to add that debt service under your net operating income. That's number 5. Once you put your debt service in there, you're going to have to deduct that. So let's just say, for example, if your debt service is $300 a month, okay, your debt service is $300 a month, depending on what type of down payment you put down. That means you have $200 left. Your DSCR is your debt service coverage ratio, which means you're going to have to do what banks do. Banks are going to look at the type of property that you want to buy as an investor. They're going to look at the down payment that you're going to have to put down on that property, or that you're telling them you're going to put down. And they're going to look at whatever the loan amount is going to be on the property, and they're going to put that against how much you're going to net from that property after your operating expenses. This is why this whole analysis is so important, because a bank is going to see, oh, if you buy this $129,000 house and you get a mortgage on it after your down payment, and you're going to get $1,200 a month in rent, and your operating expenses are going to be $7, your NOI, your net operating income is going to be $5. The debt service is going to be $300. So they're going to calculate that debt service against your NOI to see what your debt service coverage ratio is. Your debt service coverage ratio has to be at least 1.25. In most cases, it should be like 1.5 times less than what you got coming in, because you want to have wiggle room for cash flow. You want to have wiggle room for miscellaneous things that come up. So you have your number 1 CMA, that's going to be the price of the property. Number 2, your gross rent, that's going to be what that property can bring in. Number 3, your operating income, those are the expenses and the costs associated to renting that property. Number 4, your NOI, that's your net operating income before paying any other mortgage and getting cash flow. Then you're going to calculate your debt service, subtract that from your net operating income. You're going to divide your debt service against your net operating income to come to a conclusion of what your debt service coverage ratio is. Then the next term and concept, which is the 7th of the 8, is CF. That's cash flow. So in this example that I gave y'all, the cash flow would be $200. Just in this scenario, your cash flow would be $200. Because if you bought a $129,000 house that can rent for $1,200 a month, that has $700 a month in expenses, that has a $500 net operating income, that has a $300 debt service, once you divide the debt service against the NOI, you come back with a cash flow of $200. See, this is why a lot of people who get into real estate investing don't make no money. All they do is have headaches. Cause they think they finna make like, oh, I got a rental property, I'm finna make $1,000 a month. Yeah, but you hadn't done the math yet. You hadn't really done these type of calculations. If you really want to get in the real estate investing game, all you really need is these 8 terms and concepts, and just play them over and over again with every property that you run across. You don't even need a business to do this. You could just ride through a neighborhood and find a house for sale. And you start going through this same analytical process to figure out what is the math behind a property like that if I bought it. So your cash flow would be $200. Your ROI, or the return on your investment, is going to be based on how much you initially invested into this property to purchase it. So that means if you paid a whole $129,000 for this property, right? If you paid a whole $129,000 for this $129,000 for this property, and all you netted was $2,400 a month. Would that be right? $2,400 a year divided into 129. You will see what your return on investment is, or your overall return on investment. So that will show you, oh, guess what? Based on the ROI, I can't pay $129,000 cash for this house because I'm not gonna have a return on my investment that's big enough. So that may mean I need to just put 20% down, and I need to finance the other 80% because the return on my $20,000 will be better than the return on my $129,000. Now I know this could be a little complicated, but I'm just trying to help y'all at least hear enough of real information to make a better educated decision on if or when you choose to get into real estate investing, that it's going to be based on certain terms and concepts that you master and that you work with and practice over and over and over and over again until you get it right. And you can take these same 8 terms and concepts, you can apply them to any piece of real estate, and you're gonna come up with the right calculations, and it'll show you if in fact that property would be a good deal. That's how you wanna get into real estate investing. You don't wanna get into real estate investing because somebody telling you, oh, I got a good deal. Oh, you'll make $500 a month off this property. I need to go through the same scenario to make sure I know everything about this property. And that's gonna be based on these 8 terms and concepts. Oh my God, that was some good game right there. I know a lot of people, it's probably went over some of y'all head because you thinking like, yeah, but I don't get it. Well, you need to get it, even if you're thinking about purchasing a home for yourself. You need to understand these things. You need to understand the basic terms and concepts of real estate, even if you just buying a house for you and your family. Because what if at some point you need to sell your house? What if at some point you want to get an equity line of credit on your home? What if at some point you want to refinance your home? What if at some point you and your spouse decide, you know what? Instead of us buying a house, if you understand this game, you might even say, you know what? We're gonna buy a 4-unit multifamily quadruplex, and we're gonna stay in one for 2 or 3 years, and we're gonna rent out the other 3. But you're not gonna be able to make those educated decisions if you don't start educating yourself on what's most important to be educated on when it comes to real estate and real estate investing. So if you want more of this information, I have all of this information in our blueprint game plan. We have an entire, let me pull it up just to show y'all that I got it on here. We have an entire program that's centered around real estate investing. Because see, I teach the most important information about real estate investing, things that you can actually use. Like, you don't even have to be a real estate expert. Like, you can take these 8 terms and concepts today and just kind of familiarize yourself with them and pull up any property and do the math on that property. You could pull up a property in Sandy Springs that's for sale and say, oh, let me go through the math. Let me just go through this scenario. If I paid $250 for that house, what is the gross rent on that type of house? You can call a property management company in Sandy Springs and say, what is the typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Sandy Springs go for? They go for about $1,600. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. So how much do y'all charge while you're talking to them to rent out or to manage a property if I bought one in that price range? Well, it'll be 10%. So now you have already done your CMA, you found the house with a price, you got your gross rent, $1,600. Now you just go through the operating expenses. You can ask that manager that. So what are the typical operating expenses for that kind of property? Well, they're typically, if it's a $1,600 property, the depending on your mortgage, you're probably gonna be paying about $800 just for expenses. Now you got your number for operating expenses. Now you can subtract that and get your NOI. So see what I mean? You can do this without being a genius if you have the right terms and concepts. Or you could just follow gurus and go to these free seminars and learn nothing and then come back and realize what you just learned don't even work where you at. So if you want to learn more and you want to have access to our Blueprint Game Plan program, let me pull it up for you to show you where it is. You could go to Ramonepreston.com, Ramonepreston.com. If you go to our main web portal, which is what I'm showing you behind me, it's Ramonepreston.com, you'll see that our main web portal is the home of our Blueprint Game Plans. If you were to click on one of our Blueprint Game Plans like I just did, it's going to redirect you to our university training platform. And this is what our Blueprint Game Plans look like, and they have all these courses inside of them. I just want to show you real quick where our real estate courses are. So we have 3 courses right here. We have one on the practice of real estate investing. We have one on real estate investing made easy, and one on the 5-point process for real estate investing. So you can basically learn all of what I'm telling you and more like within a day. And this weekend, you can be out there searching for properties, doing the math and numbers on a property to potentially find you a good deal. And along the lines of you doing it, you can actually reach out to a real estate agent. It's not hard to get into real estate investing. Number one, you got to be committed. You got to be committed. Number two, when you're committed, then you have to be educated. And you have to be consistent with that education, which is number 3, consistency with your commitment and your education. And if there was a number 4, it would be you got to put the stuff to practice. You got to actually get out there, Google, find properties, keep running numbers. That's what I did. I've done that with, I can't even tell you with how many pieces of property. In my mind, I have bought billions of dollars of real estate because I've done these numbers. I've done these numbers with trailers. I've done these numbers with condos. I've done these numbers with townhomes. I've done these numbers with apartment complexes. I've done these numbers with high rises. I played with those numbers on all levels, from $80,000 properties to $80 million properties, because I just wanted to figure out those numbers to have them embedded in my mind so that when I'm having these type of conversations, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I know these by heart because I've gone over them so many times before. And when me and my wife are working with clients or people in this industry that want to get into that, we know exactly what the process is that we need to take them through in order to come to the correct outcome. So for those of you that would like to have more access to this information and much more, feel free to go to Ramonepreston.com, or you can just text the word blueprint. We will be more than happy to discuss our blueprint game plans with you so that we can connect you to the right one to give you everything that you need for financial literacy, for owning your own business, for real estate investing, and anything else that you desire to do. If you would like to be a part of our business coaching program, I want you to text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. The information is in the comments. But our coaching program, we're actually giving you access for free to our blueprint game plan for the entire year that you're in our coaching program. So we have a signature coaching program, which is our 90-day coaching program that we've provided for several months now. We started, I think we launched our coaching program, October? Yeah, it was around October, November. Yeah, just a few months ago we launched our coaching program. But we launched it as a 90-day coaching program. Once we got people involved in a part of our 90-day coaching program, we realized that we needed to make it more feasible for more people who were already in our ecosystem. A lot of our blueprint game plan purchasers wanted to get coaching, needed more consulting from us, and we wanted to figure out a way to make that better. So what I decided to do after speaking to my team and really strategizing is to take our 90-day coaching program and extend it for a year, and to provide that as an opportunity for you, for people like yourself, to receive a 90-day coaching program price, but for a year. So you're actually getting 4 90-day coaching programs for the price of one. And you're getting a free blueprint game plan for the entire year of your program. Plus, you have free access to all of the masterminds that we're going to host. We're going to host at least 4 business masterminds in this year. And not only do you have a free VIP ticket and voucher to come to our masterminds, which are generally $99 each mastermind, but we also give you 5 free vouchers. So every mastermind that we host, if you're a part of our coaching program, you actually have $600 of vouchers. So you can come and you can invite 5 people on your team to come, or your family, your spouse, your children, whoever you want to come, or you have that you want to learn what you know, they can come. So that means you get 6 free vouchers for our masterminds. That would be a total of 24 free vouchers throughout the year of your program. You're going to have one-on-one coaching sessions with me. You're going to have coaching calls regularly with my team. You're going to be a part of our virtual training assignments. It's a lot that we're doing in this year. It's a 52-week schedule that we put together. So if you want to be a part of it, I want you to reach out to me today. Just text Blueprint or coaching or both to 404-478-7213. So yesterday we talked about the relationship between holding companies and real estate investing. Today we talked about the 8 most important terms and concepts that you can see are specific to real estate investing, but they can be applied as principles to other businesses. And so the next few days that we have, I'm going to be talking about other things regarding real estate. Tomorrow I might talk about, I'm going to just see how I feel. I don't know, I might be in my feelings. I might talk about something else. But for now, I think I might be talking about why real estate can be the ideal investment for you. I'm going to give you some reasons why, pretty much 5 reasons why real estate can be the ideal investment for you. I have so many topics that I can talk about. I want to talk about our 5-point process. I want to talk about the top 5 types of investment properties. I want to talk about the 5 little to no money down strategies that you can use if you're just trying to figure an easy way to get into real estate investing. So just follow us for the next few days. Some of this information on the show might go into next week. I don't know. But I love y'all. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your comments, your feedback. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and for continuing to supporting us. If you need anything, just make sure you text the word Blueprint coaching. I don't know, talk. I was going to say, oh, we got an appointment. It's here. All right, we got a coaching